All right, it's time for another beer, rum, and rock shot. This time we're celebrating the 40th anniversary of Motley Crue's debut studio album, Too Fast for Love. The first edition of only 900 copies was released on November 10th, 1981, on the band's original label, Leather Records. Then Elektra Records signed the band the following year, at which point the album was remixed by Roy Thomas Baker and re-released in 1982. The cover is an homage to the Rolling Stones' 1971 album Sticky Fingers and reached number 77 on the Billboard Top 200 album chart in the US, but it would go on to sell over 1 million copies. It was self-produced by the band and engineered and mixed by Michael Wagner, who had also worked on albums by Accept and Dokken. The band's lineup consisted of Vince Neil, vocals, Mick Mars, guitars, Nikki Sixx, bass, and Tommy Lee on drums. All right, Beau, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, buddy. You?
Yeah? Good,
Yeah.
man. Okay, dude, let's talk about Motley Crue's Too Fast for Love, man. When did this album come into your young rocker world?
This record came in at a half pipe.
Okay.
I was in a punk band, skateboard punk band at the time, and we listened to a lot of metal. We listened to a lot of punk. And this record would show up out of the boom box or whatever the hell we were blasting shit out of. And it just fit like a glove for some strange reason, you know. His voice, the aggression, I just remember it clear as day. I'm trying to think of what track it would have been. I would imagine it was Too Fast for Love that was playing, but it might have been Livewire the first time I heard it. Yeah, and I was smitten. His voice was one thing, and I think you like it or you don't, but it cut through. It cut through the noise, and with more melody and more everything. Yeah, so that was the first time I heard the record. I didn't get it till later, but that was my first introduction to this and going, what's that? And that's all right. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I was at the mall at the record store like I was all the time, leafing through stuff, and I saw that album cover. You know, I might have heard the name, maybe. I can't remember. But I remember seeing that album cover thinking to myself, well, this has got to be fucking good. This looks cool as hell, right?
Does like you're attracted to the male crotch shot, Randy? Is that what you're attracted to? Because I mean, hey, it's there, you know.
Vince Neil's crotch drew me in. What can I say?
Yeah.
So I bought the album without having heard a note.
Wow.
So I get it home and I drop the needle on Livewire. And much like you, it sounds like there was a rawness and a what the fuck factor here that was not like what I was listening to. Like I was listening to, you know, Scorpions and Aerosmith and Van Halen. Well, this wasn't that. This was different and you could hear it immediately. Like it was like a blending of things like punk and glam and hard rock. And I hadn't quite heard it done that way before. So it impacted me huge.
Good point. Hadn't heard it like that. It was a rawness to it and stuff that it just wasn't around. It's just an earworm, right? Like you just can't get up and going, oh man, I kind of like that, you know?
Yeah, there was a rawness. Raw is the word I keep coming back to. It was
Right.
raw.
Me too. That first record specifically. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And eventually, shortly thereafter, they became my substitute for Kiss, who was definitely on the down slope at that point. So
Yeah.
they lost their
Yeah.
edge big time, and Motley filled it in a big way, right?
They did for a while. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And the only other thing I want to add before we dive into these tracks is, you know, I subsequently I saw a Theater of Pain tour and everyone after that, all those big tours, and they're the band that I've seen the most times live, not intentionally, it just happens to be. Like I've seen them well over a dozen times. Like I just love the band and they're great live and they're just a fun band.
You can't talk about this band without really talking about the debauchery, which
Yeah.
which sounded true to form when you hear the record, especially this one. I get that correlation the most, right, from this record. And I needed both those together. I needed the debauchery and the rawness to really kind of, otherwise it seemed fake, you know, and they handled that.
Exactly. When you're 15, it was speaking to you. It definitely spoke to me that way. Okay, man, let's dive into these tracks. So it's the track order from the 81 original Leather Records release. You got 10 tracks, all written by Nikki Sixx, except 2, and we'll talk about those when we get to them. Running time is just under 40 minutes, and you know how I love that. Just rock in, rock out.
Yeah.
Okay, dude, let's waste no time. Let's number 1, Live Wire. Tell me what you thought of Live Wire.
One of my faves on the record. Ripper, love the energy, raw and reckless. I mean, you'll hear it throughout this record. Things are off, like timing is off. Let's get her fucking done kind of thing. The drums really stand out for me on this track, that I turn it up even a little bit more at the very end when Tommy's on his own and beating the shit out of the kit. And nobody sounded like this. Like, it was, if we could kind of put that in quotations on everything we talk about here, this was the reality, and this song rips, and I love it.
This song rips. Does it ever? There aren't any songs on this album that I hate, but there are songs I like way more than others. And this is by far my favorite track on the album. They're coming in hard. Like, this track is awesome. It's my favorite Motley Crue song of all time. I'm going there. That riff is so awesome. And I love that stop-start thing. Right? Like, I love that. I'm a sucker for that. And to your point about Vince's voice, I dig it, man. And not everybody does, but I do like it. Like you said, it cuts through. There's no guitar solo on this song, which is unusual. I mean, Mick goes bananas, but there's no actual solo. And I love the dynamics. Like, there's that breakdown, in the video where Nicky's getting his legs lit on fire and all that, where it slows down. And you mentioned it already, the end. Mm-hmm. Or again, the stop-start thing.
Yeah.
And he's hitting the cowbell and he's doing those cymbal grabs. It's just phenomenal, man.
You could tell he was beating the shit out of it.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Like, there's no performance anxiety there. It was just go.
What's that saying? Beating them like they owe money.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he was doing that.
It's a perfect opener, man. And you combine that with the video, which I watched a gazillion times once I recorded it. I was all in. And I want to mention too, right off the hop, Nikki Sixx's lyrics. I want to quote this one because it's particularly nasty. This again was not Van Halen.
Yeah, right on.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
I'll either break her face or take down her legs, get my ways at will. Go for the throat, never let loose, going for the kill. Take my fist, break down walls. I'm on top tonight. No, better turn me loose, better set me free, because I'm hot, young, and running free. A little bit better than it used to be. I'm alive wire. I mean, this is not typically what's going on in the early 80s, man. And I realize this is not woke at all, but to me, it's a sign of the times, which is a bit of an excuse. I get it. But it's no different than a piece of fiction in a book. You know what I mean? He's describing something or somebody. It's fiction. So come on, let's dial it down and just take it for what it is, right?
Man, I could go for about 4 hours on my complaints about how woke this fucking world has become. But when I listen to this song, I don't even really pay attention to the lyrics. I'm so committed to the energy of this track and the vibe and the attitude that they come out of the gate with, that it's like I don't right away resonate with that. But to your point, there was a lot going on.
Yes.
Just beating the drums on this track, right?
There was a nastiness to it, right?
Better turn me loose. You better set me free, 'cause I'm a high, I'm a young, run free. A little bit better than it used to be, 'cause I'm alive. Live wire, 'cause I'm alive. I'm a live wire, 'cause I'm alive. Live wire, 'cause I'm alive. I'm a live wire.
Okay, number 2, Public Enemy number 1, written by Nikki Sixx and his buddy Lizzie Gray, who was in London with him, the band he had before Motley. So that's one of the two that aren't all Nikki Sixx. So what'd you think of Public Enemy number 1?
I always liked this track. It's, an up-tempo, fun rocker with the catchy melody, vocally and musically, because they kind of double it with the guitar and Mick kind of does that thing. Very loose timing on the cowbell. This is going back to my comment at the thing, like where it's like The drummer was drunk or high as a kite when the cowbell part was happening, because it was just like, fucking, you know, you're just not sure. That gave it kind of a little charm to it too. Maybe he was making a point with that, because his timing is not that off, but it was here, and I was like, they let that go, and I'm going, they probably wanted to.
Yeah, my 2 cents. Yeah, it's a decent riff. I don't think it's great, but I think it's good. It's a bit poppier than some of the heavier stuff, which is interesting. I'm surprised you're not dogging the hand claps. I know how you like hand claps.
Trying to remember when I heard them in there, but I it's not something that drew attention to me.
There you
quickly.
go. It kind of reminded me of Sweet a little bit, this one. But I don't love the chorus, I must admit. Public Enemy #1. Oh yeah. It's a little too poppy for me, the chorus. And my last thought was a little nod to Mick. This guitar solo is pretty cool.
Do you know how it feels to be wanted? Do you know how it feels to be wanted? Do you know how it feels to be under the gun on the run, having fun when you're young? You're so young when you're young. Public enemy #1. Oh yeah. I'm public enemy #1. Oh yeah.
For me, you're gonna notice a pattern. It's gonna be every other song is just ones I really like. And this is
that right?
Every other song. Yeah. Take Me to the Top, #3. This track fucking rules for me. I think it's awesome. What do you think?
I love how this track starts and changes gears. Like,
Yeah.
chorus gets repetitive. See, we're going back to what you just said on this track. But Vince sounds great in the verses. He sounds good here, you know.
Yeah, it's good. I like that. Like you said, Tommy Lee, that snare roll up the top. And then that fucking fast riff comes in. And then it catches you, because when the verse starts, it slows down.
Right. See, it's changing gears, right? Like, exactly
Yep.
to my point. Yeah. And I think that there's some thought going on here when they're jamming, figuring shit out, and those elements worked really well together on this track. Yeah.
I agree. There's good dynamics. Mick's solo is cool as shit on this one too. I think, a lot of people dog Mick Mars. I think he's underrated. I think for what this band does, he's the perfect guitar player for this band. And I think he's awesome.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. He's the good guitarist for this band.
Mhm.
You know, it's not pretty.
No,
It's,
no, it's not.
Yeah, he's not a technically ridiculously gifted guitar player, in a time when a lot of them were coming out of the woodwork, He was being a bit nasty, using a bit of slide and a bit of this and that, and not worrying about the dexterity but that's what gives the raw, reckless, raw power of this band.
Absolutely, dude. And I also like the double time on the outro where they change the timing again.
I know you like that.
Take me to the top.
It's just the chorus is just, okay.
This one, the chorus on this one didn't bug me that much. This is top 3 on the album for me, this one.
Well, in a black haunted alley it bites. I'm screaming, take me to the heights tonight. Take me to the top. 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 Take me to the top.
Okay, man. Number 4, Merry Go Round and Round. What do you think of this one?
Catchy, but repetitive. Like this is the epitome of repetitive on this record.
Oh my God, is it ever?
And I cannot believe, like, this is a bonus track live on some of this stuff, and I'm going, I don't know why this song is getting this kind of due attention, but that's just me.
Dude, I agree. I mean, it's interesting off the top because it's acoustic-y at the top.
Yeah.
But man, is it repetitive. Lyrically, it is so repetitive. I just tune out.
Me too. I get it. I get the connection of merry go round and round. Let's repeat. But yeah, this one just kind of like, fuck, please give me something more here. It's catchy. They have a sound and it's catchy, but yeah.
And it's different than anything else on the album. So I'll give it that.
Count the times that he laid awake in the night thinking, am I going down now? Am I going down? Am I going down now? Merry-go-round and round. 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 Merry-go-round and round.
Now back to the every other track. This is my third of my top 3. Would be number 5, Piece of Your Action. So this has got lyrics by Nicky and Vince. So Vince chimes in on the lyrics and the music is all Nicky. This one gets me back again. This is number 2 to Live Wire for me. This song kicks ass.
This is a top one for me too. This is full on Motley, greasy, nasty. A showcase for how Mick Mars had a sound that was unlike anyone else. The slide use in the track works very well.
Oh,
I know,
right?
yeah.
I love, that. I want you. I need you. I mean, it's awesome, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just a great song title for Motley. It had lots going on for it, this song, on all levels. Great track.
It's the Mick Mars' showcase. Like he has that extended
Agreed.
solo in it.
Yeah.
I love what he does there with those parts. I just think he does a great job with it, man. Love
I
it.
agree. This is a highlight for Mick on this record for sure.
Heavy riffage on this one, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
It's killer.
Come on, let's go all the way. Get a piece of direction. Get a piece of direction.
Okay, buddy. Let's go to number 6, Starry Eyes. What do you think of Starry Eyes?
Again, another little slightly haunting track with a sound unique to Motley, especially the guitars. The end guitar solo is rough for me on this one, though. I don't think Mick Mars particularly liked this track and just kind of threw one in there just to wrap it up with a bow. But
Are we done yet?
yeah. But yeah, it's okay. It's not one of
Yeah.
my favorites on this record at all, but
Right. It's showing their glammier side, right?
right.
It's good, not great. Like, I don't love it. It's catchy, but
That's what I mean. It's got a little catchy thing and a
Yeah.
Motley sound. Fits on the record, I guess, but probably a good place for it where it shows up on the record
Yes.
too. But
again, it's every other track, so I'm not going to really dig this one.
yeah, right.
But set her free. Needed a friend to come back to me. The starry eyes. Whoa. The starry eyes. Whoa.
Okay, number 7. I dig it. Stick to your guns. I really dig this one. It's got cool time changes. The verse rips. It's got that cool fast riff. And it's got that cool bridge, like when it goes to, hey man, look at me, I'm screaming. That part, again, really cool. But I think the chorus blows again. Lyrically, I mean. Stick to your guns. What's right for you ain't right for everyone. It ain't right for everyone. The rest of the song kills, and the chorus is just kind of eh.
To me, I had it as a nice groove off the top. That it started well. Musically, I dig the chorus. I wasn't really paying attention to how they worked the lyrics, but musically, the chorus worked. The drumming is interesting on this track. I think Tommy's getting a little creative with some of his patterns and what he's doing there, which is good. And the guitar groove is tasty. But the verses lacked for me with Vince. And, there's a nice bass moment for Nicky on this track.
How about that? It's like jazzy.
Yeah.
The little
Yeah.
jazzy breakdown was really, it just comes out of nowhere.
I know.
It's like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. Nicky's laying it down with the cool
Yeah.
smooth jazz shit.
They're trying to show their chops or something. It catches you off guard, but it's cool. Yeah, I got the good outweighing the bad on this one.
Are you watching me bleed? Are you believing? You got to stick to your guns. What's right for you ain't right for everyone. It ain't right for everyone.
GNR, the word on the street was GNR almost covered it. Little tidbit for you.
Huh? Stick to your guns. Guns and Roses.
There, see?
Okay, see? What?
Axel's so smart.
Fuck. I had a hard time putting those two together, Randy.
Oh, man. Okay, let's keep going. Number 8, Come On and Dance. What do you think of that one?
Hell of a catchy chorus. With the cowbell lead in, it's catchy. Vocals are terrible, though. But the energy makes up for it, but the vocals are terrible on this song. The catchy little come on and dance, weird with the band, but it works to some degree, You?
Super heavy opening riff, which I like. That was killer.
Yeah.
But the chorus, what's the word I put down here? Blows. I hate it.
Yeah.
Come on and dance. The lyrics horrible.
Yeah.
Come on and dance. Oh, it's terrible.
But it kind of resonated, and I heard it a fair bit. I gotta say that this played through boomboxes in the 80s a fair bit, and it had an attitude to it that kind of stuck out a little.
When I'm being this critical, this is the older me talking, right? When I was a kid, it just did not bother me.
Right, exactly.
I guarantee it. I thought it was awesome, probably, right?
Exactly.
But when I listen to it now, not so much. And I just want to quote another lyric from Mr. Sensitive, Mickey Six.
Mr. Sensitive.
When she's on top, well, she can't be stopped. Watch her scream. Watch her suck you clean. Now that, my friend, is poetry.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's a sonnet. That's a.
I mean, this is the world they're living in, man. It's as simple as that.
Well, we've seen the movie. We've heard the stories. Sure. And he wasn't that clean to be sucked. I'm telling you that right now.
Oh, that must have took a long time, dude. You better clear my schedule.
Yeah, I think she needs the full day here. What's your day rate?
What's your day rate? Oh, man.
When she's hot, well, damn, she's hot. It lives alone like sympathy. Should have seen her dance. Come on and dance. Come on, baby. Come on and dance.
Let's go to number 9. Too Fast for Love, your title track, Beau. What'd you think of that one?
Great intro.
Yep.
Vince sounds killer. 2. Love the greasy structure and the groove that changes up. 3. Drums again in your face. 4. And you knew, like I talked about, you can tell when you listen to this song, they owed him money.
Those drums owed him dough.
Yeah. It's a great track.
I agree. This one is, again, what's every other track? This one kicks ass. The chorus on this one, I love. Too fast, too fast. I mean, it's killer. And you're right. The opening is awesome. It's moody. It's got that great melody in it. Vince kicks ass on it. Main riff, awesome. Gets me back into the album, right? And again, that verse has that stop-starty thing again, which I don't know why I like that so much. I just do. The only one thing I want to add, they dusted this one off for the Carnival of Sins tour in 2005.
Was that the circus one? I was there. Yeah.
That was incredible. So the first half of the show was all this old shit. Red Hot and this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then they played all the hits after intermission. That show was phenomenal. I thought it was awesome. And they dusted this one off and it killed live. It was just
I'm surprised this is not a regular because it's a
well,
great
they have
track.
they have so many hits, Beau. It's hard to wedge these album tracks in, right?
Yeah, but there's a bunch of hits that I don't think we need to hear.
Well, that's true. That's you and me talking.
Yeah.
If we were picking the set list, yeah.
We should. I'm going to send a note.
Yeah, the title track is kick ass. Last but not least, track number 10, On With the Show. There's more going on lyrically and musically. It's a little more epic for Motley. What'd you think of this one?
Yeah, this really was kind of a rough around the edges 80s melodic rock that kind of went in that direction. It's catchy. They're not afraid to put a catchy thing in their tracks, right?
Well, Nicky loves that English glam rock stuff, right? Like Sweet and fucking Slade. He loves that shit. So it's in there.
You know, you're not going to walk away like, what a shitty fucking song. It's just, I gravitated to this record for everything but that, you know. Didn't have the qualities of a lot of the other songs on this record that I kind of gyrated to and still appreciate to this day.
Right. I hear you. But I guess to be devil's advocate, that's kind of what I liked about it is, again, nothing sounds like this on the album. It's got some cool dynamics those other songs maybe didn't have. It tells more of a story. Like, you know, I'm not a huge lyric guy, but in hindsight, when I look at this stuff, he's trying, man. And his writing this is his first album, got progressively better. Like, I'll give you an example. Freddie died just the other night. Some say it was suicide, but we know how the story goes. He was stopped on a dime with a switchblade knife. some damn punk went and took Frankie's life. So he's telling a street story, which kind of hints to Dr. Feelgood, right? Rat-tailed Jimmy, secondhand hood, lives out in Hollywood. Like he likes that storytelling thing.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I think it's a good closer, man. I like it for what it is. I do enjoy it.
And I think the title, I mean, if you're into the lyrics, the title sums it up pretty nicely, which is, you know, some thought put behind it. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, but that intro, that slow intro, and then into the verse, it speeds up. I like that. It's not just that one thing going on. All these songs have some of that, really, to their credit. They weren't straight ahead. There was slowing down and speeding up and all sorts of cool things going on.
Frankie was fast, he was too fast for no. Wouldn't go slow until his little dust. And she knows he finally come too close. Well, on with the show, going on with the show. Come on, baby, no. Oh, my.
Okay, buddy, why don't you sum up for me? What are your final thoughts on Too Fast for Love?
Probably my favorite Motley record.
Right.
I would have to say. And I was only a Motley guy for 2 records.
Yes, I know this.
So summing that up, it really did give us a glimpse as to what they were doing early and how different it was and how you could feel the power and you could feel the energy, and it wasn't calmed down or destroyed in the studio environment. You know, they kind of kept it that way. And I gravitate to that a lot because it just feels more real and more group effort rather than a sum of parts. And all uniquely different, you know, like we talked about with Mick's guitar playing, kind of different than anybody else. Vince,
Yeah.
definitely different.
Yes.
Tommy, well, he's Animal from the fucking Muppets, you know.
That's
you got
right.
that. And Nicky bringing all that he does to this. It really captured all that.
Yeah, I
for me.
agree, dude. To your point, it feels like a band bashing it out, and that's what it is.
Right. And I love that. And especially
Yeah.
at my age when I was in a punk band at the time, bashing it out, you
Yeah.
know, on shitty equipment and trying to play loud, and it connected with me. And that's what I got to say about this record. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, connecting with me big time too. It's a solid debut album, man. I love half of it and only like the other half. That's where I'm at with that. You can hear the youth in it. You can hear how green they
Yep.
are. It's just cool, right? It's cool to hear that. It's not super produced and super slick or any of that.
I didn't buy it for the cover.
I've got a thing for Vince Neil.
You do. You do. You do.
And you can hear where they were going songwriting wise. Like, I mean, you look at the growth between this album and Shout at the Devil. It's quite a leap, right? I mean, Looks That Kill and Red Hot, you can see, and then you get to Wild Side and Feel Good and Primal Scream. They became a kick-ass rock band with great songs. You're never going to get a whole album of great songs from these guys. I've pointed that out many times, but there's always 3 or 4 that are home runs, man. You could hear in the grooves, you could hear what was to come. That's what I think.
And as any band that has all those parts working together, you knew that they had something that already there. And it was the band that was doing that, not somebody else walking in and trying to make it work. You know what I mean? We did this. Yeah.
When you're singing lyrics like that, you're not shooting for the radio, dude. You're doing whatever
Yeah.
the fuck you want.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
You mean Suck Me Clean doesn't get on the top 40 radio?
Definitely not then, and certainly not now. Yeah.
No. Okay, man. That's it. That's all. Thanks for watching the show. If you're digging it, tell somebody, man. Spread the word and let us know in the comments what you guys think of this debut album from the Crew.
Too Fast for Love, baby.
Yeah, baby. Follow us on social media. If you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe, man. And as always, keep rock alive. We are out.